Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, today we're doing our series of Venus Ketu conjunction. And we're going to start with the first house. And if you don't know if you have Venus Ketu in the first house, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, along with all your astrology details, check out the links here, curiousastrology.com, where you'll find my books, reports, consultations, and link to my academy, Magavati Astrology Academy, where I have 2 new courses for those who want to quickly know about progression and the combination of planet like we're discussing here. So, Venus and Ketu in the ascendant. So first of all, ascendant is the individual. Ascendant is your karmic, opening the doors to your karmic life. And that's where you have Venus Ketu first. And this becomes extremely important for these people to understand the importance and power of self-appreciation. The thing is, such people will never feel satisfied with their body, never will feel happy with their body. They will always critique their body. They will always nitpick everything that is wrong with their body. And this is why such type of a conjunction usually can also lead to anorexia. Usually can lead to, not lead to, it can also make a person go into things like modeling, fashion, performance, because they feel that in that particular industry, they can easily be disciplined to look thin, to look beautiful, and to be appreciated. Because they tend to have this lack of idea about themselves. And Venus Ketu actually can produce tall women. Like they would be the tallest in their family. So if all the women are like 5'2", 5'3", they might be 5'6", 5'7". I'm not saying they're going to be like extraordinary tall. Okay. The other thing, especially the female's horoscope, usually they deal with some hormonal disorder, some issues related to hormones. And the thing is, if you're not dealing with this, if let's say you're like, oh, I haven't dealt with this at all, then you are utilizing Ketu in your particular chart. Okay? You're utilizing Ketu in your particular chart, meaning if you're a fashion designer, if you're a Jyotish, if you're an accountant, if you're a surgeon, especially related to plastic surgery, Botox, okay? You're a financial analyst, but really an analyst, not like just people tend to say they're financial analysts. And when I kind of find out what they're exactly doing, I'm like, this is not financial analyst. You're actually focusing on the sales part. That's not financial analyst. Analyst is like somebody who just simply research. When you align with this particular Venus Ketu like scenario, yeah, you will not deal with the other side of this coin, which is dealing with the health issues, especially related to, female hormones, female reproductive issues. This is why I always tell women with Venus Ketu in the ascendant, practice astrology, learn astrology, start practicing and fall in love with it. You can be a chartered accountant, and still that could be a full-time job, but on the side you do Jyotish. And not just doing Jyotish, like taking just 1 or 2 courses and like, okay, I did astrology. No, you have to like do readings. You have to research into combinations. You have to study the combinations. Why is it that this Venus Ketu in the first house is giving completely dramatic results versus Venus Ketu in the 4th house? And then you have to understand, okay, this is the dynamic that is playing out, or why this Venus Ketu person is not dealing with the exact same thing with this Venus Ketu person, because this Venus Ketu person will also have the impact of another planet upon them. Now, the other thing, especially like this remedy that I gave, related to this Venus Ketu, this actually helps, especially in a male's chart. It will help for you to get married or find yourself in a relationship that will lead to marriage. Or especially if you find a girl who's doing the things that I mentioned, it'll lead to marriage. So for example, let's say you are dating somebody with Venus Ketu, and you know their family members are or the family is not agreeable to the marrying you. And I'm talking about more of Indian culture. I don't think in Western culture anybody will care if you don't like what your sister or daughter are doing. They'll just get married on their own. They don't. But in India, I do get the fact that there is more conservatism and there's a lot more, cultural patriarchy and matriarchy that is involved in the decision making of the matrimonial unionship. So, in such case, if let's say the family is not agreeing to getting the girl married to you, if you have the girl do any of this Venus Ketu related profession, even as like for 6 months, let's say they do fashion designing, let's say for 6 months they're learning Jyotish, or they're doing a lot of cutting and crafting, suddenly the family will agree to say, okay, yeah, fine, go get married to this person. And when you're married, then they may not have to follow this. Although it's always good to follow this, because the thing is, in love, because Venus is love, Venus is the heart chakra, right? In love, a person will criticize. They look at love very critically. They don't look at love as a spur of the moment thing. They look at love as a thing of analysis. It's not a thing of chance. It's more of a thing of practical dealing. And that's where they will lose. Because this person cannot just easily find themselves intimate with someone. Okay, there's rare alignments that have to happen for this individual to be even physically be attracted to the other person. Okay, because Venus is that attraction. Venus is that chemical bound. And especially if in the Navamsha chart, Venus and Mars are somehow together, conjunct, trine. Yes, then internally this person will be very passionate. This person will be, love to be loved and will love. Venus with Mercury and the Navamsha, person will love romance. But when Venus is with Ketu, that there's going to be that dryness, bleakness towards you expressing yourself. Okay. It becomes actually even more intense sometimes with Venus Rahu. Especially the thing about self-criticism, because there's too much delusion. There's too much made-up scenarios for a person to not like themselves. With Ketu, they will always find some form of a logical reason to criticize love, criticize partnership, criticize this. Now, Venus Ketu is also a Padam Yoga, which is a yoga of devotion. This is a yoga of Radha. Okay, that means absolute 1000% devotion within the marriage, within the relationship. But always you will see with Venus Ketu, you have to give up on the best love of your life. And no matter who you can get somebody more beautiful, more educated, more refined person, but they're not going to be that one thing that you wanted. Why? Because the story of Radha and Krishna are playing out. You can take the best of the best super male model, and they could be the highest Vedic educated individual. For Radha, there's always only space for Krishna. So in lifetime, one time they definitely have to give up that love. And in their heart, they will always have that space for them. Yes, over time it dissipates because we're humans. We're not at that point and the highest point of consciousness like Radha did. But it dissipates over time. Okay. But it's there. Venus Ketu in the ascendant itself, a great artist, painter. I know painting is more of a novelty now. It's not really can be a career. Hopefully it's doesn't become that way, but painting and arts becomes very strong. And usually Venus Ketu, you will see they will always make a mistake early in a relationship or marriage, and then they have to learn their lesson, and then they will go for the right person. Why? Because the person will think headless when it comes to relationship, marriage. And the person that they make this headless decision about, that person will probably have Venus Rahu in their chart. The other person is planning, and the other person is falling to that plan. Okay? So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of Venus, Ketu, and the Ascendant. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss this type of videos. If you want to know everything about your Venus and Ketu, along with all my new courses, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.